baby, and just come outside. We're gonna take you on a beautiful ride. The Fling Show, the Fling Show, the Fling Show, the Fling Show, the Fling Show. Welcome to the Fling Show. Tell you something you didn't know. I forgot the theme song, so I just made this one up. Hey, welcome to the Fling Show. Tell you something you didn't know. That's all I got. Hey, welcome to the Fling Show, guys. Meredith, how's it going tonight?
Oh my gosh, I love that little jig. I was dancing. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. I'm so happy to be here. How are you and your big weekend?
Man, I'm alive. I survived. I got to play with this guy with this funky braided gray hair and loved it. I had a great time with the old guys, with Eager and your husband Sean. We had a blast. I know it was a rough weekend for all three of us, but I'm glad I stuck it out, and I'm glad I played. I'm glad I got to know your husband a little bit. Cool guy.
Thank you.
Cool
I
guy.
love him too.
Yeah,
Welcome to the
I see
show,
why.
Chris.
He's turned
And
off.
let me
I
say,
thought I was
welcome to the
actually,
show,
I thought I was
Chris.
video muted. I'm so sorry. Y'all could see me. I'm over there laughing, just having a good time. I'm so sorry. Once again, a little technical difficulties. We're really not good at this yet, at least not me. But yeah, I had a wonderful weekend. Nice to see you guys. I was following from afar. Can't wait to see who's on the show tonight. What we got going on, Meredith?
Yes, we have some great guests tonight. We're going to start out with our Christy Fountain out in the Austin, and she has a wonderful, wonderful FPO player that she wants to speak to tonight and give a great interview to. How are you doing, Christy?
Hey, Amir. I am good. I'm recovering from the very, very long weekend at Felton. But I'm getting there and I'm ready to take on the first national tour event this weekend in Tyler, Texas. So, whoo, man, it's busy and it's crazy. So, but I'm just so happy to be here tonight with you guys. And I'm so excited for the guest that I have coming on to talk to tonight. She is a Central Texas lady. We both kind of reside in this Austin, Texas area, and she is the co-founder of a new disc golf retailer called Inner Peace Disc Golf. She is also a fellow FPO competitor, as Meredith mentioned. So I'm super excited to welcome to the show tonight, Miss Erin Reynolds.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Erin. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm so excited to take some time out and talk with you, you know, all things disc golf. We got to hang out a lot this weekend, which was really fun. I got to hang out with your dog, Ollie, which is always really, really fun. So just thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm honored to be here with you.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we appreciate it. The first question that I always like to ask people who come onto the show that I talk to is like, how did you discover disc golf? How did you get your start?
I've always been an outdoor active type of person, and I had some friends that played disc golf and they brought me along with them. And we went to Cat Hollow a lot in Round Rock, and I just followed along and I would caddy sometimes. And then one day I was just like, I can do this. And so I dreamt about hole 2 at Cat Hollow the night before we went out to play. And we went out and I threw a thumber. I can't remember what disc I threw. It might have been a Sidewinder, but I threw a thumber and I parked it. And then after that, I was hooked.
Yeah, I love that. It seems like it's always one throw that like sticks out in your mind that that keeps you coming back to disc golf. And you know, we have really good memories at Cat Hollow on hole 2, because last summer we were playing ladies league out there, and I'm sure you vividly remember this, but you stepped to up to hole 2, and instead of parking it, you were like, I'm just gonna ace it.
Yeah.
And it was epic. That was so much fun, and I really admire your you know, just like your bravery and your courage to be like, you know what, I'm tired of watching, I'm going to do this. Because there's so many times whenever we see like, you know, ladies out there with their men and they're just like walking along or caddying, and you're like, come on, give it a try. And they're usually a little bit hesitant. So good for you for jumping in, and look at where you are now. That's incredible.
Thank you. I watched for a while, and, you know, I learned as I watched, you know, and primarily I have a baseball background, so my primary throw is a flick. So I don't really throw thumbers as much anymore, and I just kind of graduated to a flick. And
I love that, because anybody who knows me knows that that's what I do too. And it sounds like we have pretty similar backgrounds, because I'm a baseball softball background also. So it's no wonder why we hit it off, why we're such good friends. So when the pandemic hit, and this might have been a dream of yours kind of before the pandemic, but COVID-19 is just kind of something that like rolled it into action faster maybe than you were anticipating. But you and your partner, Scotty, you guys started Inner Peace Disc Golf, right?
we did. We both lost our jobs during the pandemic, and it, like you said, it was a dream of both of ours to work for ourselves and to travel. And so we, with that aspiration, and the love of disc golf, of course, and with that aspiration, we just dove in. We just started.
How did the thought start? Like, you know, like when did you guys start thinking about it? And like, how did you like form like your structure and what kind of like your business model was going to be?
Ever since we started dating, we had the aspiration to do so. We talked about it. We have a big customer service backgrounds, and I'm also like a nurturer too. So you treat others the way you want to be treated, kind of. And I kind of brought that into our structure of our business and everything. And we just kind of had all the ducks were in a row at that time. It was just a perfect time. The timing was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we both lost our job, and we both wanted to work for ourselves, because we were kind of just we were kind of tired of being taken advantage of with helping other businesses grow. You know, we want to do this ourselves. We can do this ourselves. And with the help of Scott's parents and my parents, we got it going, and it helped. Scott had some connections in the disc golf community already, and some know-how. And I kind of just did all the background and all the paperwork, if you will, to get it started. A lot of research.
Hey, the devil's in the details. And I know that you pour your heart and your soul into your business. And for those of you guys who don't know, when you order from Inner Peace Disc Golf, every single order comes with like a handwritten thank you card. And so please tell me like where else you're going to find that, because it's incredible. Like you said, customer service. That's just amazing. How did you guys come up with the name?
Scott actually came up with the name. I think I'm a really easygoing person in disc golf. Like, I try not to get too angry or upset when I have a bad shot or a bad hole. I just try to shake it off and find the inner peace, and that mental quality in disc golf is really important. So it just came out of his mouth. He's just like, Inner Peace Disc Golf. And I'm like, perfect.
As soon as you said it, you're like, that's the one. I love it. And you guys have an awesome logo. Like, explain your logo too.
I wanted something that was fluent, that could flow. And I don't know, I just had this idea of a dandelion and the dandelion components going into a basket. And I kind of rough drew it up, and we had someone create it for us, and we fell in love with it, and we're like, yep, this is our logo. Let's do this. And
that's amazing.
You know, the flow of the disc going into the basket represents how difficult it can be sometimes with the dandelion blowing away from it, and the disc coming towards it. You know how difficult it can be, and how much you have to have that inner peace to flow. to make it into the basket to, finish that hole strong.
Yeah, that's a very, very true testament to the challenges of disc golf, especially, like in the last couple of weeks in the central Texas area. Man, we've been experiencing some wind, haven't we?
Oh, I've learned how to play in the wind recently. Oh, yeah, I gotta have stable discs.
And it makes you, I don't know if you're like this, but for me, when like if I'm at home or like not playing a tournament and it's like super windy outside, I'm so reluctant to want to like go outside and like putt and go to a course and play. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. But then like a tournament comes up and you're like, oh my gosh,
you have no choice.
What do I do? Yeah. So, learning to embrace those challenges. And it's kind of the same thing with rain. I was actually just having a conversation with my boss last week, who in his earlier younger days, he was like a professional motocross rider. And I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent, but it was after some rain, and he asked me specifically, he was like, do you like go and practice whenever it rains? He said, because whenever I was a motocross rider, like if it would start pouring, like we'd go hit the trail or the track or whatever it is. And, and we'd go practice. And I was like, man, that's some serious dedication. I said, we don't seek it out, but I would say that if we're in the middle of a round and it starts raining, we're not going to quit. So, learning in those conditions, but that was your first pro tour event this past weekend, right?
It was.
And each round you got better, right?
The first round I did okay. The second round I did 1.1 stroke worse, and then the last round I did 5 strokes better than the other 2 rounds. So
yes, well, super congratulations on that. That's awesome. There's disc golf. I just saw an article that was in one of my chat groups. I actually think it was with the Fling Show chat group, and it was about how disc golf is like one of the only sports that has really like flourished during the pandemic. It's growing exponentially, and I know that there's a lot of people out there like you who have aspirations of starting a disc golf company, because we're so young in the sport right now that there's still so many like niches that can be discovered, and you can kind of find like you're in. So what would be like your number 1, or you can 2 or 3, like what tips would you give to someone who is wanting to put everything on the line and start their own disc golf business?
Well, we decided to make ours an LLC, and to do that, we had to go through the Chamber of Commerce and the Secretary of State in Texas, and we had to get all our ducks in a row there and tell them our name and basically, just set up the business structure there, tax brackets and employment information and everything like that. So I did a lot of research initially. So do your research, be organized, and just do it. You just got to jump into it, really. There's going to be doubts.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's a lot of work, but you just got to do it. Just get in there.
But at least, like you said earlier, the work that you're doing is for yourself. And to me, that is just so motivating and so inspirational. And I just have the utmost respect for you and Scotty, for taking it to the next level. And I'm so excited to see where Inner Peace goes, because you guys, like, y'all thought everything through. You've done your homework. You have the connections. You have the outreach. I mean, man, you guys are going big places. So I'm super happy for you.
Thank you so much. We're working on it. It gets better every day. The more people we meet, the more connections we make, and networking is fantastic. It really helps to network and know people, and just be there for people, give what you want to get back, kind of thing. And don't expect it, of course, but the more you give, karma will give it back to you that much more. And we've just been very blessed and lucky to have a really strong family backing, and a lot of people supporting us.
And I would probably say, like, what's that thing that they say? Like, it's a marathon, not a race, right? So if you don't see results like right away, don't give up, right?
Absolutely. I like that motto.
Yes. So in other like news, and I love this because it incorporates your business and your competition, you know, kind of both sides of what you guys do, but you guys got a van over the Christmas break or winter break, or tell us about your van.
We got our van around like October, I think. We actually started talking to Will Schustrick with Prodigy when we ordered some discs from him. He reached out to us, and we decided to rap before we even got a van. And so we're like, okay, this is gonna happen. So we went ahead and took the plunge, and we got a van, and we started, you know, framing it out and building it up, and decided we wanted to convert it into a home. And we chose a van because we thought maybe an RV would be more conspicuous. We couldn't park it everywhere, and we wanted to just park wherever we wanted. We wanted to be able to go into all these state parks and stuff, and just not have to worry about staying overnight or getting an RV spot.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I got the opportunity, the pleasure of getting to check it out this past weekend. And not only is it your home, it's your business, right? And so you have your entire inventory is in the back of your van. And I didn't even notice it until you said something. Because, okay, if you had to guess, like, how many discs do you think are in the back of that van?
Probably like 2,800 to 3,000.
My gosh. You guys' van is like you were saying, it's so like low on the backside. You're like, we're gonna have to get some airbags in there to kind of help prop it up. You guys have because you're exclusively an online retailer, right?
Correct.
And so everywhere that you go, your entire inventory comes with you.
It does. Yeah.
That's convenient. Amazing. And that means that you have to have all of your shipping, you know, all of your packaging, like, you know, your computer, your printer, like all of that. You guys are figuring it out. And that's just, man, that's just so cool. I'm just so happy for you guys. I don't even know what to say.
Thank you. It's all essentially under our bed. In the storage area under our bed is where all of our shipping and our discs are. So
yeah, so you were showing it to me and you were like, oh, look, this pulls out. And I pulled it out like a foot, and you were like, that's cool, but keep pulling. And I was like, what? And so I pulled it like another foot, and you were like, keep going. And like 6 feet later, there's just like these massive like wooden boxes, like just full of like all of the, like, it was just like a disc golfer's paradise, like seeing that many discs in one place. It was amazing. Man, so that's just so cool. So what, okay, so you guys got the van, you got your business, you're going to play disc golf. So you're going on tour this year?
We are. Yeah. We started in Belton.
Start in Belton, and tell us a little bit about your, what your year looks like, where you're going to go, the different spots you're going to hit. And yeah, just kind of the route you're taking.
We're going to follow the Disc Golf Pro Tour the best that we can. Next stop, we're going to stay in Austin for the Lone Star Classic. We're going to finish our van this weekend, and then the Lone Star Classic. And then after that, we're heading straight to Arkansas for the Vintage Open, and then Jonesboro. Then we're going to go to Missouri for the Mid-America, Kansas for the Dynamic National Tour, Illinois for the Delwood at Canyons. And right now, that's all we're signed up for. We have my ratings kind of low right now, so I have to wait to sign up for things. The last tier to sign up. So sometimes we get in, sometimes we don't. We're lucky to be sponsored by Prodigy. They're helping us get into Jonesboro and other events that are sponsored by Prodigy. But we're gonna sign up and register as we can. And if we can't, we would like to be a vendor at these events as well. And if not, we're just gonna follow them and maybe have some minis beforehand and pay AMs out in plastic, and, you know, play pros out in cash. You know, cash come in, cash goes out. So we have aspirations and plans, and we're just gonna follow the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
And I love that you have backup plans. Like, you haven't put all of your eggs in the I'm gonna play basket. Because, you know, I feel like if I was in your shoes, you know, I've played 2 back-to-back pro tour events the last 2 weekends, and I haven't cashed in either one, which is no big deal. It's been fantastic experience, and I've learned so much. But if I were in your shoes and I was like, you know what, I could probably go up there and make equal or more money as a vendor than as a player, then, you know, why the heck not?
Right.
And like you said, embracing the new connections that you make. And I feel like, especially with the way that tournaments are run now, because of all of the COVID precautions, you pretty much like show up and you see the people who you play with and you leave. There's not really a lot of communication among other people or volunteers or staff or anything like that. But if you're a vendor at an event, you can talk to more people. You can talk to all the players, the volunteers, and make that many more connections. And so from a business side of it, that is just like spot on. That's perfect.
We enjoy talking to people. You know, people ask us for advice all the time on disc, and we give them the best we can. Scott's really good at, he has a lot of knowledge, disc golf knowledge, and about different discs and how they fly. And he's been in the game for a while, so I turn to him on that a lot. But I'm learning a lot more too, so I can help. I can give some advice as well nowadays.
I'm sure it's like a rush of information, and it's awesome that like you can probably connect with the females a little bit better, and you know, make good recommendations for all of the women who come up and ask you guys about discs. And so, man, just super congratulations. I'm so excited for you guys. And
thank you so much.
You know, my last question was kind of like, how are you going to juggle like being on the road and playing, like, and running a business? Do you have a game plan for that?
Well, we have all the storage. We have everything we need, you know, the laptop and the printer, and we have, you know, all our bubble mailers, our backers, our cardboard boxes, everything fits in the van. So we're basically just going to have our laptop, get the orders from a laptop, fill all the orders, because everything's, like you said, is in our van. And then it just take it to USPS. There's a USPS everywhere.
Yeah.
So we just Google the nearest USPS and it's out same day or next day, depending on when we get the order.
So do you guys have to like structure your day? Okay, from like 9 to 11, we're just gonna like focus on business stuff. And then from like 1 to 4, we're gonna go play a practice round. Like, you know, is that a part of it?
Oh, absolutely. We'll be able to structure more once we actually get on the road, to know what we're going to do. But absolutely, we're going to set aside some time to do business and then practice and, you know, and then tournaments or whatever comes.
You guys are going to be busy.
We're going to be busy, and it's picking up. We've been very busy. And once we finish the van, I think it'll calm down a little bit, but it's just going to be a flow. We're just going to go with the flow, you know?
So if someone wants to purchase a disc from you, what's the best way of going about that?
Go to innerpeacediscgolf.com and you can filter through discs. We carry all the major brands except Innova. So and you can filter by brands, and you can search by disc or mid-range or driver or whatever you're looking for. We have lots of filters, so it's really easy to navigate. If you have any questions, you can contact us through Inner Peace. You can also contact us on our Instagram account, which is Inner Peace Disc Golf, or you can contact us on Facebook. My handles Grow IPDG, but we also have an Inner Peace Disc Golf page that you can ask questions on and send messages to as well. So there's lots of outlets.
Yeah, hey, social media is a powerful tool. So huge congratulations. I know I've said it like 16 times tonight, but I'll just say it one more time. You're just one of the nicest people I've ever met, and you're so authentic and sincere. And, you know, I think that good things deserve to happen to good people, and you are like as good as they get, Erin. And so I'm like gonna get emotional and teary. I'm just so happy for you guys. I wish y'all like all of the luck in the world. I cannot wait to follow along and support your journey as best as I can. And so, to kind of wrap up my time with you tonight, if there's any last minute people or sponsors or anybody you would like to thank, this is your absolute best time to do so.
Well, your love and support is definitely appreciated, and we've just had so much support from just strangers, and it feels really good. Definitely want to thank Prodigy for just giving us that push to get the van and get going, and Scott's parents for being behind us in that and believing in us and giving us the financial stability to be able to do so. And then Scott, of course, for, being here with me and pushing me all along the whole way. Our little Ollie, he makes us happy and helps us. He's going to be on the road with us too. And then
he's going to be probably a bigger source of calming for you than you even know.
Yeah, we got to get him a little mascot shirt or something like that to have Inner Peace on him. But I also want to thank my parents too. My dad's been a huge part of the van build, and it's just made it so easy to build our van and just get everything going.
Hey,
awesome.
Erin, I have a question for you. This
Yes,
is
sir.
David.
Hi, David.
It's going to look funny. I keep popping on because I kept wanting to interject some questions for you. I'm really excited to have you on the show, first of all, and to have an Austinite come. I used to live in Austin for like 10 years, and my brother lived about half a block from Cat Hollow. And so it's a special place to me. And actually one time I signed up for a tournament in Live Oak and thinking that it was Austin. And so it was a full weekend tournament. So I ended up staying the whole weekend in Austin, driving all the way to San Antonio for a Live Oak tournament. But it's a special place to me, Austin is, and it's really cool to have you on. My question was, first of all, I love the name Inner Peace Disc Golf. That was a great decision on your part. It just sends out a great vibe. And my question is, because I'm on this quest, Chris knows me, I'm on this quest for that, and try to find it every step of the way. I'm always reading and studying and watching YouTube videos. And my question is, I believe that it's crucial to have that point of view. And how do you get it? Is my question. Give us some insight. How do you get inner peace?
You just have to breathe through things, stay calm, just mind over matter, if you will. I guess just have that mentality, and then the physical will follow. You have we don't meditate or anything like that, but we talk things out, we communicate, and that helps a lot. And mental preparedness, just thinking things through, being logical about things, and just trying to not be hot-headed, trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, and just being the best person you can be, I guess. And it all comes together.
Awesome. Oh, I'm taking notes. So thanks again.
You don't need to take too
again.
many.
Hey, you know what? You don't have to meditate to be meditative, really.
That's a good point. Yeah, absolutely.
just kind of an awareness of,
have a calm demeanor and go with it.
And sometimes just wait a little bit before you react. That's all it takes,
Right.
I think. But I think, just having that name to your company, it just sends out a positive vibe, and I'm really stoked.
We're all about.
I'm stoked that Chrissy sought you out and found you for our show. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Thank you. It's much appreciated. I'm honored to be here.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Erin.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Chris, throwing it over to you.
Oh, wow. It's amazing the group of people that we have been introduced to and the things they're doing. It gave me just a pause. I was going to ask a question, but I just wanted to kind of present this. With the COVID thing going down the way it did, so many people are presenting themselves in this manner now. And at first I was thinking, oh my God, there's going to be so many people doing this. But the reality is that there's so many people out there who've not played this game before. And it's the first time they're picking it up. we've all discussed that we're seeing it on all the courses. So I think it's a wonderful thing that getting out there in our own van. I know Chrissy does the same thing, and I know we know other the athletes that we've supported do the same thing by getting out there in their own van with their own personal items and selling them and just promoting the sport. And what I loved about that is that they're on that mission as well, and it was really neat to see. But in light of that, Dave, you were down south this weekend. I did get to see. I got to see you from afar, and you have got a little information about the events that transpired down there, and maybe a special guest that we're going to be bringing on this evening.
That's right. Well, I did half of our goal. Like Chris and I had this joke early on in the fling show, is that my goal is to make the lead card and then interview the winner. And this time I didn't quite make the lead card, but I was able to get Jeremy to come on, and we're lucky to have Jeremy Dale Richards tonight, the MP40 champion. And I think second time that he's won this year. We'll have to ask him when he comes on. How you doing, Jeremy? Can you hear us?
I'm doing great. Can y'all hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Hey, thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
I'm excited. It was a little surprising to get that message from you in the first place.
Well, and fellow lefty too. You know, it was unfortunate on my part that I couldn't take advantage of the win read, because we had like a card. We had 3 lefties, I think, on the card, or I guess forehand heavy, and then yourself and me on that first round. But that was great golf, man. Congrats.
I appreciate it. I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better.
Is that
as
your
far as
second
no,
win
it's only
this
my
year?
first win this year.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a third, second, and a first now for this year. So
Well, that was some quality play. How do you feel about Evergreen? What's your? I know that you're doing the national AM disc golf tour. Are you the TD for that? What's the story on that?
yes, sir. It's an A tour we're having on September 25th and 26th. We're actually doing right now the plans are to do 2 rounds on Saturday and then do a super 27-hole layout on Sunday on tee times. But it's one of the National Amateur Disc Golf Tour events that we promote the amateurs on. It's geared towards amateurs development, which I've been able to be pleasure with for the last 4 years. And 2019, I actually made the championships. Just finished out of the cash, but it helped push me into actually moving to the MP40 division instead of the MA40.
Awesome.
Hey, Jeremy, let me ask a question real quick on that program. I know we've had people in the past on, and we've discussed the separation between the pros and the AMs. To be honest with you, I know very little about this, and I'd like to know a little bit more of how long has this group lasted? How many tournaments do they have in the state of Texas? Because I feel like the separation between the AMs and the pros is a very good idea.
Well, Dave Philbrook came up with the idea back in 2015, and it was actually just called the Next Gen Tour. It was in its beginning stages. I believe we only had 15 total throughout the whole country. 2016 is actually when I started. I guess they wanted to run some events in Houston area, and my name got thrown around, and he gave me a call. I think I ran three events that year. Maybe we had 5 or 6 total in Texas. Championships was in Colorado that year. 2018, I ran 6. We started developing into. I had East Texas, and we have like Choctaw, Patterson, and Christina Gold. They do the Central Texas area. 2020 was a big a hiccup. We were still able to run some events, but it was basically everything from then. We're carrying it over to 2021 to make it twice as big now. I mean, our projected for 2020 was $8,000 to the MA1 advanced winner. We're hoping double that now. It's what it's there for. It's for these players to take that next step. And if you win, you actually get a Disc Golf Pro Tour card for the following year, where you're able to play in the events. So it's a lot of great things that the people would really want to know. You can go to NADGT.com. We're revamping the site right now, but my email is always open. My Facebook's always open for any kind of questions. And plus, I'm running 6 events this year, so there's plenty of opportunity for people to learn and to accumulate those tour points and get the invite to the championship for some monies in Austin this year.
Great. So what's your if somebody's watching and they might have an inkling to help out or run one or get involved with the amateur or just get involved with running tournaments in general, what's in it for them? What do you get out of it?
Honestly, I do it because I love it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I do it because I thoroughly enjoy it. I have a pretty good team. I have Bob Koch. He's always there with me, helping me. My wife is behind the scenes helping out some of the hidden things. And with the development of COVID, it makes things a lot easier now, to be honest. Most of ours is done electronically. Players meetings, everything's done electronically now. The players package, the simple bag handoff, and payouts are done through the Infinite website. So there is no payout on site. You earn vouchers to their website, so you can purchase whatever you want that they have in stock. And if you don't like something, you can let it hold on and build up. Wow. Which I did. I did for a little bit there, and was able to get a basket for it. I'm like, heck yeah,
that's cool.
But with so much hands-free now, it's running the events is not really the difficult part. It's maintaining the behind the scenes on the disc golf scene, the registration, and all that. That's like the hardest part, and the tournament manager thing. That's it. It's always great to have extra spotters for some holes, extra people to run around, but I'll play to the side and I'll take care of that. It lets me focus on the players and then make sure they're having a great time. Plus, if like a Lumberton, Obi-Wan Kenobi out there, he's the biggest help in the world. That guy will go out there the week before and paint lines and get everything set up, because I work 50 hours a week myself. So, we have 2 of them in Louisiana, one in Shreveport and one in just south of Lafayette. I've already talked to the local groups there who are actually helping with the courses set up there, which I'm greatly appreciative. If you really want to get into the tournament scene, I just started with the 2017 Texas States at Inwood. That's when I got my first foot in there to actually volunteer and do some of the stuff behind there. I would look with Northside Chain Gangs. Got a great development program where they trained a lot of their members and had actually kind of nudged them into TDing. You have Southside Gorillas with Griff. They're the same way. There's always somewhere. If you have an idea, if you want to do it, you really want to participate, we're here and we're always willing to help and teach.
Yeah. So back on to Evergreen, what do you think of that course, and how does that compare to, like, say, like a Ledgestone or the Beast at Waco?
I was doing some research on my account, because if that 1,005 holds up, that'll actually be my 3rd 1,000 rated round at Evergreen of my 5 rounds. The other 2 were at the Beast. I was like, wait a minute, these are supposed to be tough courses, but I love Evergreen. It's a great course. It's friendly both left and right, short, long. It requires you to, I love it just requires so many aspects of you. You've got to be able to read the wind a lot. You've got to be able to dial in your distances. You've got to know when to be conservative or really run that long whole weight. Who make it in two? Do you make it in two? You want to take that chance or just take the four? It's a good mental game. Those are good mental courses to help develop your strategy and to take a deep breath and move on. You know what I mean? That's the best way about it. That's what I like about them. And the Beast, it's horrible. It's the Beast for a reason.
Yeah.
It makes you take your time, play smart.
Now,
been a
talking
while
about
since
playing
I've-
smart, I remember early in the year you and I had played, and then that's when you had mentioned to me that you were going pro. I think it was in early January. We played at Northside Christian Church, and I wondered then you were doing some practicing and really getting ready for the season. What do you think that you would take forward that you were practicing earlier in January that gave you the success that you're finding now?
Well, I started going pro September of last year at the was it the Greater Houston of 2021 at Moffitt, I believe. It was the other Greater Houston tournament. So I'll make sure of that.
That was
No,
Evergreen.
it was the
as well.
Beltway Summer Classic.
Yeah,
No, it was the Beltway at Moffitt.
And you won that,
I wanted to
right?
play that event, and I couldn't get in the MA40. And Griff told me, "Dude, just move up." That was my push, And I ended up I played 3 times that year, including Texas State's, and won 2 of the tournaments in the Southern Star Duo. That was it. I was hooked. I mean, the competition is hard and fierce, and it brought out the best. I mean, it made me realize my faults, which was putting. I put in 5 rounds a week doing field work, doing 45 minutes a night putting in the backyard. Or if there's wind, I'll go to Northside and putt just with the wind to learn it. I can get off work about 4 and still be able to hit a course. I have Moffitt around the corner or TAT, so I can dial in and practice things one or the other at any time now. So, and my wife, at first she didn't like it. I ain't gonna lie. She was like, "Hey, I need to do this." I'm like, "Can I practice first?" She's like, "Okay, fine." But now me working on it, her supporting me, and everything's clicking. I want to keep going. I want to keep pushing. I'm excited that I've actually been able to do it.
It's nice to bring home some money for your hard work all weekend. So I bet she liked that a little bit. That probably helps out.
My golf has to pay for my golf. I cannot. That's one of the deals. I have to sell disc or win. That's the only way I can play another tournament.
Shh, don't say anything.
So
don't say that. You might end my career right here.
There's other wives working.
Because
You
she's
must be
probably
quiet.
watching. Yeah.
Don't tell that secret.
Right. So one other question I had for you, Jeremy. Were you in the military? I don't know much about your background. And what branch were you in? And
I joined the Marines. I enlisted in the Marines in August of '97. Served a few years there, and I got out. My brother, he's also in the Marines. My oldest son is in the Marines. So there's a lot of military in our family too at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm sure
How
that
long-
discipline helps your game a lot. Then I'm sure that's why you're on your way up.
You played quite a few tournaments
I
before
had
you
to
started
fall-
playing in the pro division. What is your favorite course that you have played as far as the tournament and, within the last few years? What's your favorite tournament? What's your favorite course to play at?
I'll go with Waco. And the reason is because I think between Waco Charity Open and Strata the Brazos, I've won that in 5 different divisions now, or 4 different divisions now. So I like the beast. I don't know why, but I really like the beast. If it isn't that, Jones East. Honestly, those are my 2 favorite courses.
I like Jones East. Had a little luck out there.
Where's that located? Jones
Emporia.
East.
In Kansas and Emporia.
Yeah, Hemi loves that place. That's true.
When you played out in Kansas, what are some other courses that you liked out there besides the Jones East?
The original country club layout. I haven't played there in 4 years, so I'm basing everything at that time frame. But I did like the original country club when you throw hole 1 downhill over the water. Remember that? That was a great starting hole there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never played that one. I'm old school, and back when I played, they just played Jones East and West. But the one that I really liked a lot was Monkey Island, and wish that we had a kind of a Monkey Island type course, nearby. There's so much, there's so many technical little fun holes out there. It's a lot of good. Sorry,
Nope.
checking a message here.
Nope.
So anyway, well, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Any sponsors before we let you go? Anything you'd like to leave us with? Any kind of wisdom on how to become a great professional disc golfer like yourself?
If I learn that, I will share that with you. Other than the fact, inner peace, that's great. Because you talked about that, I had to make a really bad fall at a tournament. It was horrible. I probably should have been. I made a huge mistake, and I let my attitude get away. And that was definitely a moment that of clarity that, Jeremy, you need to straighten your butt up. That whole take a deep breath. We all get a little worked up on the course, but like they said, you're done with that. Move on. That would be the one thing that's helped me the most. Moving on. Once that's done, there's nothing you can do about it. Move on.
Well, hey, that's what happened to me this weekend. Just dealing with a little bit of pain and I let it get to me on Saturday. I let it get to me and like I was telling, I think I told Chris this, I had more excuses than birdies. And I was just full of angst and sadness, and it was just kind of an egotistical round. Everything was kind of caving in on me, and it was more than just pain. And so I ended up making myself go to Jenkins instead of just getting in the car and driving off. And once I got to Jenkins, I was like, okay, it's a shorter course. You should be able to, you don't have to rip it like you do at Evergreen. So I hung in there, and then by the end of the day, I'd kind of gotten over it. So I guess my advice, when I was asking Erin about inner peace and how do you get it, just take a pause. A lot of times it's just before you react, before you make any kind of action, go have a cup of coffee or, sit down and just ponder it a little bit. And then usually some clarity will come to you, and I'm so glad personally that I, finished it out. I felt like I owed it to you and, everybody involved with the tournament just to be there, no matter what I shot, So I think sometimes, just kind of getting outside of yourself can help you get through those times of, anger or ego or whatever's going on, expectation, all those things that happen when you have bad rounds. Chris, you know anything about that? Those bad rounds, those anger management problems?
Unfortunately, I don't try to get to the level of you two gentlemen. So when I play in tournaments, my expectations a lot less. However, even in so dealing with that, I still have the inner competitiveness in me that wants to do well. You know, being an ex-athlete, you always have that in you that you want to do well, and you do disappoint yourself when you don't do well. And so it's taken me a while to just kind of get to an understanding of my expectations, what I have, you know, what I expect of myself in that. And like Jeremy said, you got to let it go. I can't get mad at myself. And to me, we've talked about this before, because my anger transfers to other people on the card. It makes other people around me uncomfortable. Doesn't want them to, they don't want to play with me anymore. It just sets a bad example for the sport. So I've really tried to temper that down. And being a little older, it comes a little bit of wisdom. These gray hairs cost money and it's not free. So with it, you hope that you learn these things in the end. And it's easier said than done. By no means, everybody deals with it differently. I think we've all seen those kind of competitors out on the course. But I like what both of y'all said. You just have to find that way to move forward, even in the most difficult times. And y'all are a little higher situation and higher stress level, because that's the expectations you put upon yourself every time you step out there. So, you know, I see that side as well. But I do appreciate those pros that I do watch and have been able to watch, that are able to stay with inside themselves, even though when they're having a terrible round. It's very noticeable as someone looking from the outside in. So,
Well, for me, what was noticeable, and just like, you know, Travis, and just like Travis winning an Open, what's noticeable is the time that you put in, and I can tell that you've been doing the reps. And so congratulations on excellent win, Jeremy, and look forward to seeing more and playing more with you. And I'm inspired to go out and work on my butt so I can get on that lead card next time. But so congrats.
My biggest sponsor, my wife, apparently she likes to hide and take pictures of when I'm trying to practice in the morning. It's like Sunday morning, I'm out there at 9 o'clock, already trying to make sure my putts are going to be clean before I drive the hour down there.
Very nice.
right on.
Cool. What's next for you? What's the next tournament?
Let's see. I'm gonna be playing the Spring Wide Open. Then I'm going to go up to Fort Worth and play the Ideal Disc Open. Then we take into a big string of like my tournaments. We'll have an NADGT in Shreveport and then one in Magnolia, both in May. You know, a lot of these tournaments are feeling so quick because like I got to keep on them. You know, they fill up fast, but I want to play NAC Open and a couple of those DDs. You know, Cedar Hill, Piney Woods. Other than that, cross my fingers and see what I can get in, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like a full plate. Thanks again, Jeremy. Thanks for coming on the show and spending time with us. I know it took a long time to get things set up, and thanks for hanging in there with us and getting ready, and look forward to playing with you.
It was good. And I actually look forward to seeing your name every time I'm on that list. You put a smile on, I'm like, heck yeah, I get Griff and David.
Same here, Jeremy.
Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate you coming on, buddy.
Yeah,
thank y'all for letting me come.
All right, man. We'll talk to you later.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
You too.
You bet.
Night.
All right. Well, before we go, a little segue. We had a little texting that we do, our little group here, and sometimes ideas just come to us just right off, and we kind of want to see how the show goes. And one of the things Chrissy had pointed out earlier, I guess it probably was today, that I kind of want to kick off with all three of you who are trying to be pros and trying to be that top level. And I know all three of y'all's family life, you working, kids, job, disc golf. You also involved whether you're selling your own stuff, painting your own beautiful artwork, or selling everything next, like Meredith does, from the nails that she does and other things that she's really into. Y'all's plates are full. And I know that moving forward, y'all all have high expectations, and sometimes when y'all get in these situations when your whole week is just busy, you put in all the field work, and then you got 3 rounds on the weekend and a lot of travel. What is it that you think that you could give advice to those people who are watching this video moving forward? What advice would you say would be some of the best time management and kind of an understanding about what they're about to dip their toe into? Chrissy, you want to start?
Oh man, put me on the spot.
Well, you brought it up because you had the struggle this week, and
Yeah. Man, I feel like everything I'm gonna say is advice that I need to be taking myself, which is a hard pill to swallow. Because my number one piece of advice is don't spread yourself too thin. And right now I am spread as thin as a piece of paper. And I'm very fortunate. I don't know how to say this, but I'm fortunate that I'm not at a point in my life right now where I have kids, because if I did, I don't even know if anything would be possible. I work, I don't talk about my work much outside of being there, but I work in commercial construction, and I don't know if you guys have been driven through Austin, Texas recently, but it's insane. We have Tesla going up, we have the soccer stadium going up. I mean, we have the tallest 72-story high-rise building that's about to break ground, and it's a insanely stressful industry. And the biggest thing that I have to tell myself and remind myself of is, just compartmentalize. We all have these different hats that we wear in different areas of our lives. And I'm sure that if you guys saw me in my work setting, you would hardly wouldn't even be the same person that I am whenever I'm talking with my friends and I'm out on the disc golf course, and, just kind of forcing yourself that you have to shut off work whenever you're at disc golf, and disc golf whenever you're at work. And so compartmentalizing is a really big thing for me. And because outside of my job, I like you said, I sell these nails. This is my side business, Color Street. And while you guys were interviewing Jeremy and I was listening in, I was labeling, things and trying to stay on top of that. And I also love dog training. That is my calling, that is my passion. And one day it's my dream and my goal to have a bunch of land and have boarding and training and grooming and just be this all in one hotspot. And so I've been trying for the last couple of years to sorry if that clicked out a little bit, I'm back, to do dog training lessons after work. So there's sometimes when I have dog training lessons, I have Color Street sales I have to do, I have work stuff that's catching up, I have disc golf, and I'm coming to a point where I have to realize that I have to give something up, because I am just spread way too thin. And it doesn't mean it has to be permanent, but really sitting down either with yourself, or if you have a partner, I'm so lucky to have my husband, Neil, and just figuring out at this time in your life, what is priority for you, and just committing to that, even if it means giving up on something temporarily. It doesn't have to be permanent, again, that can let you excel at whatever you choose to do. There's a saying out there, and I'm going to get a little bit colorful with this, but it says, don't half-ass 2 things, whole-ass 1 thing. And that's kind of a real come to Jesus talk that I've had to have with myself, is, maybe that there's some things that I need to give up so that I can completely commit to being the best disc golfer that I can be, because out of all of the things that I do, besides my job, that's what I want to be the best at. So I don't know. I hope that somebody can take anything that I said and use that and apply it to their life. But that's kind of where I'm at right now.
How about you, Meredith?
Well, this question comes at a unique moment where I just realized I have weekends off again, apparently. So I'm like, I may get a disc golf life back. But here for the last few months, I've really missed out on that competition because, you have to prioritize things. And I needed to bring in some income. I've been with that. I hadn't been working for a while. Sean's always provided. And COVID caught up with even his job because it's not salary. And so when I thought I was getting a job to kind of pay off debt, it was more so to put food on the table. So I've been very blessed. I felt like I was starting to work a whole lot because I'd ask off. But with that, I think in return now I'm working minimal. So I'm going to try to plug back into that disc golf life. But it's important though. I've learned to humble myself and appreciate being on the other side, because learning the operational side of disc golf, while maybe I can't compete as much. And I'm just really proud of myself for not being so ho-hum me and a pity party on all the fun things that I've missed, but appreciation of where I am right now, the season I'm at right now, and getting that time to focus on learning the other side. And so to really grow my experience in disc golf as a whole. But with that said, you'll see me on a course near you more often.
How about you, Hemi?
Well, it's this past weekend, not playing so well and having expectations when you don't put in the hours is really kind of an incredibly silly thing to do, is to come in with expectations, because you're only as good as your practice time. And so getting out there and when you have a busy schedule, I'm at home a lot. I've been doing a lot of painting and stuff like that from here, but I'm not as busy. There's no excuse for me not getting out there really and practicing, other than just being in a bad place, being just sort of not having the drive for it that I had before, and I'm not sure, I don't want to go into why that is, unless you want to, spend about another hour on the show tonight. But it's all about drive. I mean, once I feel it, and once I get locked in, like I was telling Jeremy, I could tell he's put the hours in, just like when I watched Travis take down some great wins, and then he won this one. And unfortunately I didn't get to watch. I had to take off. I was hoping to loop back around and watch the MPO card play, but Travis he could play in the MP40s. He's I think he's 40. And he's hanging with those youngsters, and he's put in the time. And I asked him, he was on the show, and we asked him about his practice time, because he has a full-time job, and he's a franchiser at Chick-fil-A. And we asked him about his practice routine, and really it's just like Chrissy said, it's just about compartmentalizing and focus in. Go, if you make up your mind to be a great putter, it only takes about 30-45 minutes a day. It's not rocket science. It's putting in the reps and putting in the reps in the right way, and not practicing weird form. Make sure you have a good solid form, and then just do it. So I'm telling you what I'm not doing. So I'm giving advice in kind of a weird place. And so I know Chrissy feels kind of the same way. She's advising you to not spread yourself too thin, and she is thin. But hey, that's the way it goes. People, we have our moments of passion, and we explode with energy, and then sometimes it's we're down, and I can feel that from you, Chrissy, and I'm my heart's with you, and I know it's going to turn around for you, and you'll be sailing soon. There's no doubt about that. And same, for me and Meredith. I know that I can feel that that change coming. And, I'm feeling optimistic about my situation. I'm not too upset about a 905 round or whatever, whatever it was. There'll be other rounds, it'll be okay. But, yeah, as far as, I really do think it's helpful to get some kind of practice of, stretching or yoga or, anything that slows you down in the moment and gets you in the moment and practice you in the moment. Erin said that they didn't meditate or anything like that. I'm into that. And I think it really does help your game, even if it's just, laying down in the floor and stretching out and just, letting your mind kind of ponder and, you don't have to call it yoga. It really is just stop for a second and see what happens, see what comes up. That's how you can call it prayer, you can call it yoga, you can call it just chilling out, whatever you want to call it. It would really reset yourself to just slow down and not get caught up in the whirlwind of it all. That's my advice to myself.
And
Chris, what about yourself?
Well, since like I said, I don't really have that attachment to it the way you three do, but looking on the outside and seeing all three of you, all I could say is stop being so hard on yourselves. What I have found from the most successful people, and especially the three of y'all that I've been able to work with closely enough, is that you are all hard on yourselves. And I know it's hard not to be, but from the outside looking in, I'm doing just fine. But stress is one of those things that everybody deals with at different times. I was going through terrible times, and so I understand that. But I'm just saying, y'all are putting it in. You have so many things going on. It depends on the day. And I know all days are different. So that's my advice to you. And that's my advice to everybody else. Stop being so hard on yourselves. Just if you can just take a moment to step back and you're putting into work and the success comes, great. Just stop being so hard on yourselves. That's all.
Yeah, well,
but I think this is a good
that.
topic. I'm glad that Chrissy brought it up. I'm glad that the stress came and we could, because that there's other people in y'all's shoes and they're listening. And if they're not listening right now, they will listen later. And it's good information for them to know that, hey, you're not alone. You're not the only one. Yeah. And that's very supportive inside of itself. And like David said, sometimes you don't meditate, but you give thought. And you give thought by pausing sometimes to reflect, think about, readjust, move in a better direction. And if that doesn't, be like water, do the same thing, just readjust, give it thought, give it pause, take a moment, don't strike out, don't do something just to do it. Just give it a moment.
And that's what that was what I was getting at. It's, meditation, yoga, those are just words. It's like, it's just like it has a weird connotation because that's, you think of, somebody with beads and a white dress or whatever, what, I'm just saying, take a minute, slow down and take a minute. And that's why I was curious to ask Erin, because of the inner peace is like, what kind of name is that? You're really, you're putting yourself out there when you name inner peace, because you almost have to understand how to get it. That's
and be
kind of what I was
reflective of
getting
that
at.
and be reflective of that when you're around people. They're going to expect that as a reflection of who you are. You know.
Well, and she exudes that,
Oh yeah.
So that's I think I haven't met her until tonight, but I feel like that's a perfect name for a company. And you set your intention, especially with the name, and there you go, and you're off and running. But tough concept, or tough subject. If we want to get on to spirituality, and finding inner peace, I could talk. Chris knows we could talk, and we have all night about that. We've
made a
talked
long
about
drives. Love that.
Yeah, be a long show, but I guess my advice, if anybody's you know, into that kind of thing, or you know, trying to better your game or better your mental game or better your you know, being a better person as you play, is just to remember that, you know, humans, we're kind of like waves, you know, we have ups and downs, and you, if you just understand that, just wait for the wave, you know, wait for it, it'll be okay, you know, you'll come back around, and everything will be better at
Amen to
some
that.
point. It's not always gonna suck, you know. But Chrissy, hang in there. I can feel it. I can feel your vibe, and we're with you. Whatever,
Oh.
whatever you need from us, let us know. You know,
You bet.
I'll sing you a song. I'll cheer you up.
All right. A song to go to end the show. The Fling
Yeah.
Show.
A Fling Show. Gonna be okay. Tomorrow's just another day. Sorry, I didn't plan anything. Anyway, well, we lost Meredith. Are you there, Meredith? Wanted to say goodbye.
I think we lost
I guess
her.
we lost you. Yeah. Anyway, thanks, ladies. And Chrissy, thanks again for introducing us to Erin and Inner Peace Disc Golf, and doing what you do there in Austin. We really appreciate it. Makes the show, you know, really special for me, and I know Chris and Meredith as well. So
Yep.
hang in there.
It is my pleasure. It is a joy, and I'm still every week so thankful and so grateful to be a part of this and to get to talk with you guys every week. And I hope I wasn't putting off any like super bad negative vibes. That wasn't my intention at all. Because you know, I mean, the other thing that I think, I have one more like little tidbit to add, and this is something that I always go back to whenever I start to like get into a negative headspace on the disc golf course. And it's always just like thinking about where else you could be when you're disc golfing. Like, we are so lucky to be out in a beautiful park in beautiful weather, you know, with our friends throwing frisbees. And there's so many people who do not get that opportunity or do not know about that opportunity, and really just taking yourself back to just being grateful for where you're at, I think is just like a really great reminder to get you back on track and going in a good direction.
Amen.
Yeah.
Hey, Mayor.
Most
Hey,
Got
love
anything
that.
before we go?
Thank you, Chrissy. You, Hemi, y'all have all had such an inspiring words, and I hope so many people tune in and hold on and get all this, and maybe even write it down, because I think I might replay and write all this goodness down.
Right.
So it's been
Yeah.
great. Bye, guys. It was a great show
All
tonight.
right. Thanks,
Bye.
you guys.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Peace.
Play disc golf. Play
Yeah.
disc
Play
golf.
Disc golf.
Throw something in the air.